Greetings, survivors, and welcome back to another video. Now, today I have an interesting one for you. Now, I've shown you some interesting kits over my videos. I've shown you my meth kit, my fire kit, recently my fishing and trapping kit. But today, I'm going to show you something more interesting. Now, I recommend carrying a weapon with you in the event of an apocalypse, but that's not always going to be possible. Sometimes people lose things, sometimes weapons break. You see, the world is full of chance and anarchy. So it's going to be true to life that you're going to be without a weapon at some point. But this right here is going to be something to help you make a new weapon wherever you are. Now, it's full of various things that'll help you make one. Doesn't mean it's going to be a good one, and it's really reliant on what you've got. So if you're in the middle of a desert, it's not going to be easy to make something. If you're in the middle of a jungle, I mean, yeah, it's going to be easier, but it's still going to be pretty difficult. But if you're in a rundown city, it's going to be a lot easier. So yeah, urban survival is pretty easy with this stuff. So this is my emergency weapons making kit, and I used the bag from my first aid kit mostly for the irony, but also because it was the only bag I had that would work for this. Now, with that out of the way, let's actually get into the video itself. Alright, so here's the opening of the kit. So, let's go from right to left. Now, first off, we got a pretty big length of paracord. Now, this is 1100 as to the usual 550, but despite the fact that its strength is higher, for weapons, that's not really as important. Now, I've used this for various stuff in the past, like the laces on my bracers that I've made. And I made an entire whip out of paracord, but most recently, and pretty soon, given I'm going to make a video for it, I used it as a handle for my fighting knife that I made. I'll get a video for that one soon enough. But the paracord is very useful, not only for survival, but weapon making too. It can be handles. It can be used to actually be a grip on something. It can be laces to hold something together. Ultimately, it's very useful for weapon making. And it can be a weapon of itself if you use it right. And just as that, I got some wire. Now, if you have some electrical stuff, wire can be used to make a weapon, including that, but mostly I just have this for the purpose of possibly making a garrote. But regardless, you could easily get rid of this, so I'm going to. It's probably the least important thing in the entire kit. Then we got some super glue. Again, I use this for a lot of my weapons, including that whip, that fighting knife that I'm making. Heck, I use it on my actual knives to keep the handles together. It's great. It can hold stuff together, can fuse stuff while you're working on things. And if you're not that good with paracord handles, it can be used to hold it together. Because mostly that, but also the rest of the reasons. Super glue is pretty useful, regardless of the reason. And our last thing in this side, we got quite a bit of duct tape and I wrapped it around a credit card. Now you see, I wrapped it around itself, so you can easily take it off, undo it, and you got a lot of duct tape that you can use, for whatever you want. And it can be used to make make a new grip for for a weapon. It can be used to duct tape things together. And, well, that's about it. But I've used duct tape for a lot of my weapons. I mean, I made the actual set of bracers out of duct tape and duct tape alone, with the exception of paracord for the laces. I use duct tape as a base for the handles, for my fighting knife, and I use it for as the grip for my machete and baseball bat. Ultimately, the uses of duct tape are borderline unlimited. So, a length of duct tape is good to have for this kind of thing. Now, we have the left side of the kit to go through. First off, we got a sharpening stone. 2 different sides on it. This is, now ultimately, I've had some problems with it, but that's probably just because I don't know how to use a sharpening stone correctly. Now, if you're going to use anything for a sharp weapon, you're going to want to make sure that it's actually sharp. Now, of course, there are plenty of things that are going to be quite difficult to sharp. This will just make it way easier. And of course, there's the fact that it's way easier to use than the normal knife sharpener that I have. Now, after that, we got a lighter. Now you see, lighters are useful for various things. It's especially when you're using paracord, because you gotta burn off the edge. Otherwise, it's going to get everywhere and the entire thing's going to be useless. But also, it's good for, heating up certain things and melting off certain edges of things. And it can undo super glue if you burn it, but only when it's on really heat-resistant things like metal. So that's really the only purposes for that. After that, we got a knife. Now, knives are a staple of all of my survival kits, even dating back to my pocket survival kit almost a year ago. My first survival video. But you see, that's for a good reason, and for this reason, if you're going to make anything out of wood, you're going to need something to carve it with. I mean, even a simple wooden spear is going to need some, to be sharpened at the tips. Sorry about the light bulb's going out. So a basic knife is going to be essential. And so I used my smallest knife that was still big enough to be practical, which really just meant the Swiss Army knife was out. So I used my pocket knife. And now the last thing on the kit nails. Now, you see, nails are useful for various things, including homemade rivets. But since I don't have a hacksaw or a hammer in this, it's going to be a little bit harder to do that. But if you have a rock, you can also put these nails into things. And while I'm not the biggest supporter of a nail bat, numerous people probably are. And while with nails these small, it's probably going to be a little bit harder to do that, but you can always improvise. And that's what this kit is all about, improvising. Now, it's going to be pretty hard to make a kit with a weapon with all of these alone, but let me give you some ideas. You're under a bridge, you find a bunch of old rusty pieces of rebarb, take a length of one, along with something fabric that you have, maybe a rag, something like that. Duct tape the rag to the bottom of it, the bottom piece of it. Duct tape on both sides of it, and then boom, you got a duct tape. You got a rebarb, club with a padded handle. Or again, nail nail these halfway into a bat, and boom, nail bat. Or tie this to two sticks, and then you got a garrote. You see, you could do a lot of things with this. And I want to hear, what you guys have to say in the comments. What should I add to this kit? What should I take, replace with the things I got with the kit with? I want to hear your guys' opinions in the comments. And as usual, thank you all for watching. This is Random Man signing off.